Hello everyone, I'm meteorologist Charlie Neese. It is the 17th of March, 2025. It is a Monday, and we just wrapped up another deadly weekend of tornadoes across the nation's midsection into the deep south. At least 40 people have been killed up until this point. And we're also hearing that thousands of homes have been damaged or destroyed. So each one of those homes represents a family. You can look up in your local area ways to help, and also you can see a link to the Red Cross down below. This week will be much calmer, although we do have a couple of areas that we're going to be watching in hotspot weather. The first is going to be across parts of Oklahoma and Texas. Very dry and windy conditions leading to a very high fire danger. We already have multiple fires ongoing in this area. And then by the middle of the week, another front coming in. It's going to be different from the one that came through this past weekend, but we will see a risk of thunderstorms, and some of those thunderstorms could be severe as we go through the middle of the week, although again, not expecting any kind of severe weather anywhere near what we just saw over the weekend. Here's the watch warning map. You can see those areas in pink. Those areas are red flag warnings. That's where we have very dry and very windy conditions across much of the plains into the Midwest, into Iowa and Missouri. The core of this, though, is affecting areas from Texas into Oklahoma. Here's the current fire map, and you can see how the fires are clustered over Oklahoma with scattered areas also into parts of Texas. Now, the fire threat, as defined by the Climate Prediction Center, this is for Monday the 17th today. You can see the areas that are most at risk with a critical level of fire danger from Texas into Oklahoma, parts of New Mexico, and also back into parts of Colorado, whereas up to the north and east of that, it extends all the way up into the Central Plains with an elevated fire danger. But as we head into Tuesday, the risk goes even higher with an extreme fire danger across parts of western Texas. Again, this is the combination of very dry conditions and windy conditions. And once those fires start, they can spread very easily. Please use caution in this area and be mindful that these fires could spread very quickly. We've already seen that happen over the plains over the last week or so, and we've had many people burned out of homes here in these areas. So that threat will be continuing. Here are the computer models forecasting what's going to happen. The system that brought so much damaging weather to the nation's midsection into the southeast now is moving out into the Atlantic and moving out and moving away. Still gusty winds along the eastern corridor behind that. And we do have this pool of cool air that sent temperatures down below freezing in places like Nashville, Tennessee this morning. But we've got some warmer air building back out to the west. It's going to be rushing in over the next couple of days ahead of that next storm system that right now is starting to bring more rains into parts of California with some heavy mountain snows as well. We'll put this into motion for you, and as we go through the day, the mountain snows continue in California. So we start to see them develop more into the Rockies overnight, and then the rains gradually letting up across parts of coastal California. Meanwhile, the warmth builds in for Tuesday. Tuesday afternoon, highs are going to be again in the 80s for the plains in those areas where we're seeing that high fire danger, places like Texas into Oklahoma. And temperatures will be recovering from the 60s in Tennessee on Monday into the 70s, and much of the southeast and Ohio Valley will be seeing temperatures much warmer on Tuesday and Wednesday than what we had to start the week. Outside of the snows in the Rockies, it's fairly quiet across the country, though, as we head through your Tuesday. Then we head into Wednesday, new storm system. This is the one that's moving onto the coast of California now, goes across the Rockies, reforms out into the plains, strengthens, becomes another big wind maker for parts of the Midwest. And look at the heavy snows that develop on the backside of this system, running from the Great Lakes back into parts of Minnesota, also into parts of Michigan and Wisconsin. Iowa could be seeing some very heavy snows, northwestern Iowa, with not only the snow, but very high winds as well on the backside of this 986 low. And those snows will continue back into parts of Nebraska and even into parts of Kansas. We could be seeing this risk of severe weather as the system moves off toward the east. On the front side of it, on the warm side of it, we'll be seeing showers and thunderstorms trying to break out. And you could see the model's trying to paint a picture of a line of storms developing from parts of Indiana through Kentucky, Tennessee, Mississippi, and Alabama. I'll be covering that just in a moment, talking about where the Storm Prediction Center thinks that the highest risk of severe weather will be. And the snows continue through the Great Lakes back into parts of Wisconsin here. And farther deep into time, it's going to get pretty chilly behind this system. By Thursday, we're going to be seeing highs held into the 40s across parts of Kentucky and Tennessee, and may even see a few flakes of snow mixing in the mountains of East Tennessee during the afternoon on Thursday, the 20th. So look for some flakes of snow, eastern Kentucky, the mountains of eastern Kentucky, West Virginia, into the mountains of East Tennessee on Thursday as this pocket of cold air comes rushing in on the backside of that system. Meanwhile, we start to warm back up over the plains, and then some mountain snows again for parts of the Rocky Mountain states for Thursday. All right, so let's take a closer inspection of what this front's going to be doing as it moves through the Ohio and Tennessee River valleys. As we go through the day on Wednesday, the 19th, showers and thunderstorms will be developing. This system will not be like what came through over the weekend. It just doesn't have enough instability and moisture to work with, but strong thunderstorms, and can't rule out a few isolated severe thunderstorms begin breaking out, mainly across Kentucky, Tennessee, down into parts of Mississippi, and can't rule out some heavier thunderstorms also across parts of Illinois into Indiana. On the backside of it, that's where we're seeing the snows develop. Some of those snows will be heavy Wednesday into Thursday. And then by the time we get into the evening hours on Wednesday, the line is probably about as developed as it's going to get, coming through Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, through the Nashville area, down into northern parts of Mississippi and Alabama, around the Huntsville area, approaching Birmingham, with, again, the snows on the backside of it. And as we work through Wednesday night in through the day on Thursday, this is Thursday morning, the line is now into East Tennessee, Eastern Kentucky, much weaker than it was a little earlier. But again, not expecting widespread severe weather with this, just some locally heavy downpours, embedded thunderstorms, but can't rule out an isolated severe thunderstorm. But look how chilly it is on the backside of the system as we work through Thursday morning. Even a little bit of a quick changeover to some snow showers on the backside of it, Illinois, Indiana, back into parts of even Tennessee, where Thursday afternoon into the first part of Thursday night could see some snow showers across East Tennessee, Eastern Kentucky, mixing in with the rain as this cold pocket of air moves in. But it's going to be a pretty quick mover, and temperatures will be warming up as we head into Thursday, Friday, and into the weekend. Thursday is going to be pretty chilly across this region. Friday into Saturday and Sunday, you'll be noticeably warmer. It's a quick shot of that cold air. Here's where the Storm Prediction Center is forecasting the best chance on Wednesday of seeing any kind of severe weather. A marginal threat, that is a level 1 out of 5. For instance, this weekend, we had a 5 out of 5 over parts of Mississippi and Alabama. This is a 1 out of 5 from Iowa into Illinois, Indiana, Tennessee, Mississippi, and the northern part of Alabama too. So can't rule out a few isolated thunderstorms that go severe, mainly with a threat for gusty winds and hail. Tornado threat is overall fairly low with this system, but you cannot rule out anything with these kind of systems. Just know it's not going to be nearly as widespread and as energetic with enough instability like we had over the weekend. But we'll have another update later in the week on that system. If you are formulating your severe weather safety plan for your family, check out this video. And also on my YouTube shorts, I've got lots of interesting facts about tornadoes, but also more severe weather safety tips, because we are going into the core of the tornado season. So you want to make sure that you have that plan for you and your family as we continue to expect that the rest of the spring will be quite active with severe weather as we go through March, April, and on into May. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you soon.